Every day I hear from people that they are bothered by negative thoughts. Here are some techniques to help you overcome them. Sometimes I wonder actually if the reason that I'm bugged by people that have got negative thoughts is because they know me. No, it's not that. It's people on the internet. It's all sorts of people. I spoke to Byron, Kehinde, who's kind of a teacher, guru, healer, on my podcast, Under the Skin. She spoke articulately about negative thinking and how to disrupt it, because none of us want to live in a cycle of negative thoughts, do we? All of us feel that it is reducing our ability to be happy, and we would stop it if we could. Well, obviously you have to intervene in some way. Byron Kehinde talks about ways and methods that we in fact can do that. Have a listen and stay to the end because I've got stuff to ask you.
How did you have an experience that could perhaps have been fleeting, and you could have, I'm sure people have moments of epiphany and then return to ordinary, as it were, life. How is it that from this platform you continued to evolve and develop?
I can only assume that it was just powerful enough, and I supported it enough because the absence of suffering was there, and that was oh my goodness. People ask me, they'll say like, "Are you enlightened?" And I'll say, "Yes, I know the difference between what hurts and what doesn't," because that really was that made those two worlds just major. I experienced the possibility and nurtured it.
The preceding 10 years had been depression, as you said, low self-esteem, instinctively and unconsciously banishing yourself to the floor of your own bedroom. And this was a time of suffering and pain. And from that moment, you're saying, so like what I suppose is not implied, is you're stating is that from this position of witnessing what most of us regard to be ourselves, there is a experience of liberation.
I witnessed the cause of all suffering, and I could say in my own experience, I witnessed the cause of all suffering.
What is it?
I believed my thoughts.
We believe our thoughts. We've got this ongoing narrative inside our head. I meditate, as much as I can, certainly every day, but hopefully multiple times in a day. So I experience the tenacity of thought, how easy and seductive it is to fall into the whirlpool of constant inner narration. It's a challenge. What meditative techniques do you use to avoid that, to sustain this state of enlightenment?
Meditating on what I would identify what I'm thinking, believing, and then questioning what I'm believing. And it's like if you find a universal thought, like people don't really care. Or let's say people don't care about me. Yeah. And the 4 questions I use are, is it true that person doesn't care about you? Now, to meditate in that, you would find the situation when you are actually believing it. Let's say someone said something to you and you just experience that person doesn't really care about me. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter if it was 15 years ago, 30 years ago, yesterday, it doesn't matter. You meditate out of that particular situation. And then you see that person saying what they said, and you see you there. And then you get in touch with your emotions and question it. That person doesn't care about me. Is it true? So now you're looking directly into their face as you remembered it. You're looking at their body language. You see what you see. That person doesn't care about you. Is it true? So what we're believing then affects the way we saw them then. It affects who we believe them to be. It identifies them. But when we slow down the next day or the next year or the next month to question it, in that situation, she doesn't care about me. Is it true? And then just witness it until you see what you see. And the answer is either yes or no. It's one syllable. It's not yes and, the mind wants to make something of it. But you just rest in whatever you see as that's it. And then you move to the next question. how do you react? Notice, witness in your mind's eye, meditating there, how you react. What happened when you believed the thought? Now, then...
Katie, what if the answer is no, it's not true? I can tell that the person does care about me, but just in that moment they were angry or they were caught up. How do you deal with question 2?
I would answer yes. It's got to be, I can justify it. They really do care about me. But in that moment in time, I'm looking again. So it could be yes or no. This is such private work.
I see. So like I'm just thinking of a situation when I was sort of a teenager and someone said something very aggressive to me. And in that moment, I felt the tectonic plates of my being jar in that moment. And it was one of those, all of us, I suppose, have sort of personal milestones of that thing happened.
Yes. So now you can go back and continue to meditate in that and notice how you reacted, what happened. You described the emotions you felt. So now you're getting in touch with shame, and get in touch with where you first felt it. Was it your chest? Was it your shoulders, your neck? Stomach. So you're just going to be in that and allow those emotions to be as you continue to witness in your mind's eye, eyes closed, that situation, or open. Meditators can do it, opened or closed eyes. So then how does the mind work? How do I react when I believe the thought? Emotions we think come first, but they don't. Mind is the originator of all. So how do I react and believe the thought? Emotions, we experience them first. That's a bit of a sleepness, but it's the first knee-jerk thing. But what's happening, and you can track this as a meditator, so being there now in that situation, notice the images of past and future that were in your head in that situation and time.
I see. So I relive that moment. I remember what I felt. What if you can't connect with the images that were, or what you were thinking in that time?
You're just meditating in there. You just meditate in there, but they did happen, or you could not, or there would be no cause to emotion. Mind is cause, life is effect.
I found that very helpful. I hope you did. Please let me know how you get on using those methods and techniques in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel and please have a look at this video. Also, please consider going over to Luminary and subscribing to my podcast where I do this sort of stuff as well as a meditation every single week. Have a look at this meditation for free if you want to, and please sign up to my mailing list so we can stay in direct contact and stay in esoteric communication about the methods that I use. Stay free.